Hey folks, quiet guy keeps to himself. Tonight, bringing you an interesting thing that I found on ttrpgs, but I don't know if the creator, Albert Ventura, is maybe adding it or maybe changing something. I don't really know, but it is available on where itch.io, and I will put a link to that if I don't find it on drive through. I'll put it to both. This is your very first solo adventure, according to Albert, and play it with Karen. Whoops. Oh, Nave. I don't like it doing that. Sorry. And OSR. And I decided just to cover something different. Heartseeker, a game by Scott Malthouse. Really, just because it was 4 pages long. So there's the cover, I guess, by this gentleman, Brian Sami. And basically, this is your character creation. Really, the only thing that I thought was, so it's roll 4d6. Let's see, let's get the character sheet up. Basically, you have physical, you have mental, you have aura. Let's go back to the other one. Okay. So physical, might and dexterity. If 13 or more, add +1 to attack and damage rolls, and save versus disease and poison. Mental is knowledge and wisdom. Gain a language for every point above 13, and save versus spell effects. Aura, charm and looks. If 13 or more, add +1 to reaction rolls, save and charm effects. Saves roll to avoid particularly dangerous effects. Save is equal to each ability score. Roll equal or under to succeed. Classes, I took a Pathfinder, which my HD was D8. Advantage on hunting, hiding, a camp, or tracking. +1 to range attacks. So I had +2, thanks to how I rolled. I had 14 with my physical, so I had a +1 on my range, and I had an extra +1 because I'm a Pathfinder. And then I also had a +1 with my melee attacks. The only thing that was a little confusing, so my bloodlines, I ended up being a gnome. I just rolled on it with the idea if I rolled a 6, I'd roll again and either be human or ratkin. But as a gnome, I was able to add 1 to my aura or gain illusion. So I just went with the aura, to gain on my aura instead of gaining on an illusion spell, which I don't know. Created a silent illusion up to human size, lasts for D4 turns. Yeah, it didn't seem that great. So, like I say, ability checks, I think I did have like that to roll advantage on those 3. And then as far as weapons and gear, it was pretty simple. The way I understood it, now I'm looking for it here. Let's see, movement rate was 40 foot per combat turn, or 120 per dungeon turn, 40-20. Let's see, money, I don't know, I got like 100. I took studded leather, so that gave me an AC of 13. Weapons, I took a bow for my ranged attack, and I took a sword for my melee, and then I had some adventuring gear. And then as far as attack, if you go roll d20 and half the level, so yeah, plus my physical bonus, so it was a +1. Yeah. If equal to or above enemy AC, score a hit. Okay. Roll class HD for damage. So my HD was, as a Pathfinder, it was HD 8. So that was that. So, what else? Roll HD, which comes from off the HP. Okay, melee weapons attack adjacent targets, ranged attack. Okay. Out of ammo when I hit a 1. Well, that didn't happen, but I was kind of wondering about that because there was no arrows to buy over here. So anyhow, I went and had all that built up. It's a pretty cool looking. I thought it was a pretty cool sheet. Like I say, my physical was 14, so my mental was 16. The aura was 14, so really good rolls. Had a hit die of 8, AC of 13. To hit, it was +1 with melee, +2 with ranged. I did have my arrows, like I put little circles, like I had a dozen arrows, I just assumed, and took that off my gold pieces, which I went off into the adventure with 43 gold pieces. Had I had some rations. What else? My name was Fetterstone. Just one name, sir. Fetterstone. Had things to light a fire. Yeah. Sword. So, I'll just read off what happened, because then I switched to... Here we go. I'll just take the Heartseeker off. Pretty neat rules. I mean, I don't know much about Scott Malthouse, but really, to put this game together with 3 sheets of paper, I mean, that's the whole game, and that includes some monsters, and yeah, wilderness encounters, dungeons encounters, random encounters, grasslands. What else we got here? How you advance. I mean, yeah, it was a very nice little system. So I had my character go off into the Sunlesswood. Well, we didn't know that. Basically, I'll just go over day 1, because that's all I made it, folks. Into the Sunless world. What is this? It's basically, it has no rules of its own. Like I say, I guess the gentleman wanted Cairn or Knave to play that, and I really just saw the Heartseeker rules. I just got those the day before, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use those. I'm pretty certain it's not too vastly different from a lot of the NSR, like Knave, or I don't know if you want to call it NSR or OSR, but yeah, basically a rules light game system. I used that one. So yeah, roll dice, pencil, this adventure, your rule book. I just did it, had an oracle, kind of explains that. Before starting, what you need is also filled in your character sheet. I did write my adventure, and basically you start off with the escape, and I'm just going to read this and what happened to me. You flee through the forest, scratching your face on the branches. You look back and see only foliage. You do not trust your senses, or you have barely eaten or slept. What you do recognize well is the pain which you endure on every stride to take with your bare foot. You keep your mind alert. You try to remember where you lost your shoe. Yeah, there's some artwork. There's a shoe. And then explain who is chasing you and why he won't give up until he catches up with you, or roll a die. So I just rolled a die, and basically I'm fleeing a bounty hunter who is hired because of my supposed theft. I am innocent, I say. The huntress is the bounty hunter's nickname. So I am not going to show any more pages, but there are basically, it's not like a choose your own. It kind of goes in this order. It'll tell you what number to go to. Now it might switch up. I don't really know, because I died. But I enter a hut. As I'm fleeing, I find a hut. I basically end up in there. I tell them that I am Fetterstone, the gnome pathfinder. The host mended my foot and gave me a shoe. His son, Bebop. Now, this is all through rolls that I came up with this story. So that's what's sort of neat about this. His son, Bebop, went foraging for mushrooms, 2 days ago in the North Forest. Bebop can convince anyone of his point and could help me greatly with the huntress and you being maligned. So the lost one is Bebop. The North Woods, known as the Sunless Wood, cannot be entered by locals because it is inhabited by a small mischievous elves. by small mischievous elves. Okay. So anyhow, I come across a one-eyed dog named Gondo, and we head north. And basically, we forage. We find 2 items of food. Then we have an encounter as we're looking, and that was a little bit of a mechanic. Was I have to reread that, but I pretty certain basically you have days and then you have turns, which is morning, afternoon, night. So you have 3 turns a day. And then you have task. Well, I didn't make it to evening to hide my campsite. So I basically foraged, was successful with that. And then I found a pass. And then I was basically ran across, it said a feline. So I just, with the good old rule set that I was using, they did not have a lion or a tiger or a panther out of the animals. So, you know what? I just said it was a wolf because it's my story. I'm sticking to it. And yeah, I got destroyed by a wolf. And that was the end of that. I imagine the one-eyed dog who lost the scent because we crossed a river right before the pass of good old Bebop. Well, I don't know. I guess he made it back to the house. Who knows? He's a dog with one eye. He cannot tell the tale. But I can. And yeah, as far as a first solo adventure, it's not a bad way to go. I like the concept of just, hey, I know with my solo playing, I like a lot of things, but boy, it can get overwhelming. For I believe this was $5 on drive-through, and I think it might be $1 less. The Sunlesswoods on itch.io, and I could be wrong about both those prices. I'll put links below. Not a bad way to start. I mean, if you're beginning with this and you maybe have a group you play with, and you play Shadow Dark, or you play Kern, or you play, Morkborg, or you fill in the blank, you could basically use that system and play this game and just follow the prompts of what it tells you to do. And yeah, write your little story. And like I say, I didn't even make it a day, and I had a pretty entertaining little experience there. So, I'll roll up another one and maybe try it with Cairn, try it with Knave. I don't think I have Knave. Yeah, I do have Knave. I don't have the 2nd edition Knave, but I do have 2nd edition Cairn. So I just, like I say, was kind of in a hurry. Game time for one day. I think I clocked it with creating the character and playing the game. I think we're looking at about, excuse me, I think it was about a total of, I'm gonna say 30 minutes. Like I say, it didn't last long. Basically, I hit the wolf, did 2 points of damage, and then it basically knocked me in the next week, and that was the end of that. So check it out. It's kind of neat to get a independent creator come up. Well, I'm assuming independent, and yes, not only the Sunlesswood. If you're familiar with the Heartseeker rules, I'll put a link for that too. And I think I also bought his Night Warden, which that looked interesting. I know very, very, very little about Scott Malthouse, although like the comments was very positive on his itch.io page. So yeah. I'll probably maybe try this again with Night Warden, and then after that maybe Cairn, and hopefully one day survive it all. So anyhow, folks, as usual, there'll be more of these to come, and yeah, be kind.